Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Lace Up channel. Today I'm going to tell you the story of how I closed the biggest pork rind chicharron distributor in the United States. Basically, we're going to rewind the clock back to 2015 when I was getting started here at Lace Up. I had no money, I had no resources. I was basically picking up the phone, pounding it every single day, trying to find this company some customers. Now, after 2 months of no luck whatsoever, I took to the internet and I started looking up distributors in California. Well, for any of those of you that know me, you should know that I used to live in Las Vegas, and I lived in Las Vegas my entire life. Now, Las Vegas is a very close-knit community, and it doesn't have a tremendous amount of wholesalers that distribute to the casinos and to the restaurants in Vegas. There's a fixed amount of these distributors, but just a little distance away is Los Angeles, and in Los Angeles there are thousands of distributors because there's so much culture, so many different food types, so many different distributors that you could literally blink while you're driving down the road and see 50 distributors. So anyways, I go to Google and I start typing in, hey, food distributor in California. Now, after some hours of research, I come across a city called City of Industry where a lot of the industrial companies work. And I run across this company called Gaitan Foods. Gaitan Foods at the time was the premier pork rind manufacturer and distributor on the West Coast. I had never tried their products, but they used to have, or they still have, this product called the Don Rudy pork rinds, and it used to come in this big 3-gallon case, and it was full of pork rinds. And the moment I saw these people's product, I absolutely fell in love with them. I knew at that moment in time they had to be my customer, and I knew that I had to do whatever it took to close that deal. Now, I had no idea what accounting system they had. I had no idea if they had a DSD system. I just knew that I was going to get in touch with the owner and I was going to close them on the deal and that they were going to be my first customer. So the next thing I did is I go to LinkedIn and I start looking for employees at Gaitan Foods. And guess what? I run across Ryan Gaitan. Ryan was the son of the person who founded Rudy Gaitan Foods. And Ryan was in charge of all the operations at the time. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to reach out to Ryan. I cold call the office and I say, hey, can I talk to Ryan, please? And they go, who is this? Yeah, this is Mickey with Lace Up. I saw that Ryan, is a sales operator or the operations manager there at your company. I'd like to speak with him, please. Anyways, eventually the person at the front desk put me through to Ryan, and I pitched him our software. I was like, hey Ryan, this is Mickey. I make the software. It's like the worst pitch in the world. I make the software where your distributors, your drivers can make invoices and print them. The first time I called him, he goes, what? Are you kidding me? I'm in the middle of a super important phone call. And I hear it click. Dude, I felt my stomach sink. I felt absolutely terrible. But something triggered inside me where I was like, you know what? I'm like a guy that's getting rejected by the girl of his dreams. I have to pursue this customer at any cost. So what I did was I started reaching out to Ryan on LinkedIn. Eventually on LinkedIn, in his profile, he had his email address underneath more information, and I got his email. So I start emailing him. I email him information about our product. At the time, our website was terrible. Our product, to be frank at the time, had a terrible design too. But I knew I had to be persistent, so I would email him information. How you doing, Ryan? Are you ready for a system? Are your drivers prepared? Guess what? I didn't hear from Ryan between March of 2015 until November. But I reached out to him every single week because I knew that he had to be my customer. It was something almost cosmic, galactic, something bringing us together. I knew that he was going to be my customer. Well, guess what? Forward to November, Ryan finally picks up the phone and gives me a call. And he goes, hey, Mickey, I know you've been reaching out to me for a really long time. Guess what? We're interested in implementing your system. We want to eliminate all of our manual data entry. We want to get our drivers on printers, and we want to get your system on board. Can I have a quote? So just like that, that phone call materialized into a demo where he invited his sales team and his drivers, and eventually it materialized into a close. I ended up closing that deal. You guys are going to laugh, but I closed that deal for $2,500 and like $200 a month. That's it. Because to me at the time, that was so much money. Imagine not having closed basically any deals until December, right? You were broke. I was completely broke that year. So anyways, Gaitan Food ended up being the second customer I ever closed. And the funny thing is that December, we had closed the deal, but I hadn't gotten the money. They told me, hey, Mickey, we want you to come down to City of Industry, meet us in person so we could start this project. So on top of not having closed any deals, being completely broke, I had to get in my car and drive to City of Industry to meet them. When I walk into their office, right? Imagine an office that's like 1940s mob style, right? It's super old school. It's got pictures of them all over the wall. They're all USC graduates with their big class rings, and I felt completely out of place. But somehow the moment that Don Rudy, that was Ryan's father's name, he's since passed away, God bless his soul, but Don Rudy came in, he gave me his hand, and we start talking about the system, and all of a sudden our conversation just kicks off. I tell him, hey, look, I've been doing this for a year. Things are starting to pick up. And he tells me, you need to stick with the business, Mickey. He takes me out to lunch. We end up eating at Chili's. And when we return, right, we're sitting there. We're like, okay, we're going to get started. Mickey, we'll talk to you on Monday. But guess what? In my head, I was like, where's my check? Where's my $2,500 check? So I go, hey, Rudy, can you please give me the check? And he goes, you mean right now? I go, right now, man. I just drove from Vegas to here to get this check from you. So he goes out, grabs a check, brings it back to me, gives it to me, shakes my hand, and it turns out that ends up being the second deal I ever closed. Okay, I just closed another deal called Casa Sanchez a week before. So anyways, that's how I materialized the relationship, literally by just sheer will, thinking about them every single day, and I was able to close them. To this day, they're a big customer. They grew from $200 a month to I think like over $1,000 a month at this point. It's a tremendous customer. We have a tremendous relationship ever since they've been acquired a few times, but we still remain very close. Now, if you want to take anything away from this story, take away the fact that you have to be extremely persistent when it comes to trying to build a relationship and close a big deal. You have to work your butt off. You have to follow up. You have to be relentless until you get a yes or a no. Even when you get a no, you have to understand that that no is a real no or a fake no because they want you to leave them alone. And you have to pound them until they finally say yes. So I hope that for those of you looking for bigger distributors to distribute your product, I hope that you take something from this story, that you take some persistence, you instill that in your personality every day. I promise you'll have some success with that. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this story, and I want to thank you so much for tuning into the Lace Up channel. Have a great day.